And so I keep hearing that, calling incel. I'm like, okay, whatever. They're just, it's I really some of the things they have no shame. They can say whatever. And now I realize, oh, this man is what you call incel. These perps have been trying to use this feminist, femme fatale type of facade and try to make me think that this is a group of like this angry women that are just avenging for what I've done to women and kids. When the truth is, they actually are women involved in a program that torture a lot of women, that torture children and men. But they were trying to present this facade. And for me, I'm like, listen, it's easy for me to think of, oh, I'm going to start hating. This comes men, women, all shape or form. But these women are trying to present that facade. They're trying to make it look like that because we're women, it's a different program. No. I know there's a bunch of women being involved in this. I understand that there's a lot of women doing that to women. I heard the testimonies. As I'm saying that my body is being destroyed because the truth is, reality is what they try to reconstruct it. Because these women are involved in a program that torture women in the foulest way possible. Let me bring that to reality again. And so they're trying to pin me like this man to make themselves believe that there's somehow some fierce femme fatale protecting our women. This trash are low life and opportunists, and it's so disgusting that they will use their gender as a way to create a facade when I know these things.
But I was going to be shot in the face, and it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you're going to be shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is, with the voices go, it's a bunch of females.
It's a bunch of women. Female, as you're not even a woman.
Really? You're not a woman. What? Real woman.
And she's right. These trash have the audacity to try to present themselves as if they're like in this avenging group of femme fatale figures. You're a trash low life involved in a program where they do so much horrible things to women. It's ridiculous. Atrocities. This is what they do to women in this program.
So, yesterday I went to the beach and drank a couple of beers and just sat down there after laying in bed and sobbing for 2 hours because the private parts of my body were being burned and my breasts are moved. And this is the trauma from it. It's not being able to cope with the pain and the emotional trauma that comes from someone harming me using, I guess, remote medical technology. It's my best guess. I went and saw a dermatologist.
There's a lot of women suffering in this fashion, in this program, where this trash and opportunities join this program that they do these horrible things to women. But then when they do it to me, I'm supposed to look at them, oh, you guys are just some femme fatale protectors. No, you're not. If anything, you create threats. Because they're going to push somebody to lose their mind and do something harmful. But I will never let them escape. Listen, they will try to make me, and you can see the saliva is coming out. They're hitting my organ so bad that I'm salivating, but so give me a second. And that's because they want to still paint this retardation of a facade. What? I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, literally, women, things like that are being said.
Worked for the Defense Department. She worked on the global mapping of that system. And when I told her what I was going through, all she could say was, "You're on your own." Well, I figured that out. If you would please, I urge you to pass this. I realize you can't enforce it, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same
You understand? They involved in that. I'm the one involved in bringing awareness to these horrible things. Where I'm saying this. This is me calling out what's happening in the world.
Victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, B2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We need this to
stalking,
stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, and I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the U.S., in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We need this to
stalking,
stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture.
I've been targeted for 9 years.
It goes on with more women talking. But they wanted to. It's crazy how they can create this facade. Like, do you know that I know what you guys do to women, right? And listen, what can be happening in this program is they can make you take on a persona. They try to make me take on this persona of this man. This, you clearly hear what he says, like he hates biracial, he hates women, and this, it's just some disturbed person. And it's funny because with me, they try to make me feel guilty. It's like, oh, you date outside your race. I'm like, oh, whatever. And they'll try to have this back and forth. I'm like, so stupid. And this man had issues for a long time, but they try to use whatever they can to try to make me identify with this person. Today, I'm being manipulated to have this disgusting reaction to children. I'm dealing with this pedophilia type of torture that you hear this woman calling out to. This woman who actually is the reason why I love myself more, and I didn't end up killing myself. Because after watching her testimony, I was like, I gotta be strong. If this woman have been dealing with that for this many years, I need to be strong.
Is what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including threat of planted dreams.
They do the pedophilia type of torture. Right? This woman, who's a woman who's been raped, tortured in so many ways, psychologically too, calls out what's happening to me too. And I'm she's the reason why I'm still able to be me. No, sorry. They're forcing my speech. As I say, this is a forced speech. She's the reason why I'm still able to look at myself and love myself. Not only love myself, but thankfully I did not go through with what I was planning to do to myself. Because I looked at her, I was like, look at this strong person. If she's able to endure this thing for that long, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm like less than a year and already thinking about killing myself, and this woman been going through that, and it's like she's not going to kill herself. They kept telling her, kill yourself. This is the thing, they try to push people into suicide. Many have killed themselves already. Target individuals, some of you know people who've died already, who killed themselves. Women, a lot of women. So I'm not going to let this trash leave the fantasy. Now let me go back to finishing up this video. Now this disturbed person had a lot of things he done. Even in his childhood, you go already see things, patterns. Like I said, for me, what they try to bring up is what I did as a kid. Listen, kids can do impulsive things. Kids can do things that they never do again. That's a child brain. A lot of kids, especially in the early teen, will do things that are impulsive that they will never do again. But there also are people who are, when they're kids, they start doing things then and they continue to do for the rest of their life. But majority of these kids in their early age going to do some damn thing as children because the brain of a child is that. So when you see something happen once And that's just when they're in the childhood. That's because their brain was still developing, right? I'm saying some super obvious things, but they're like, oh no, now you pay. These people involved in torturing children, by the way, it's literally. But they try to hold on to something. It's like what you did as a kid, something I did to myself as a child. That's what the brain of a child is capable of doing. They suffocate babies, 7-year-old kids, 4-year-old with Down syndrome, sexually tortured by this low life. And I know that. They're not kids. Sorry, this program that's doing that is not a program because of their kids. They do these things to kids. And this trash want me to forget that I will never let them live that fantasy because they torture children. And that's it's something dangerous to have as a knowledge for me. For me, it's a danger when they do this thing because I know what they try to counter that. Me knowing this, what they do to children.
The same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated.
7-year-old with autism being suffocating a 7-year-old. If I see a trash like that try to live that fantasy, it'll be a problem.
Right after I saw this child being suffocated,
7 years old. She's involved in this.
Both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, ow. I observed this.
You see, you heard the sexual torture? 4-year-old and 5-year-old. There, this trash that I have to calm down. I have to ask God, give me strength, because I know this trash is involved in a program that does these things to kids. It's trying to make me think of me as a child in middle school, right? Like I said, children can do impulsive things. I did something to myself, never to that nature. Something to myself. That's embarrassing. Never done it ever again. Matter of fact, I forgot about it completely because of such an impulsive moment that came out of my brain immediately. As a child, in my brain, they're going back to the stupidity of how they're reminding me of how they do this disgusting trash. And that's what a child's capable of doing. But this man, as a child, was already doing things. So apparently he was grabbing kids in these ways. But also, when he got to high school, he wrote a whole poetry about raping and killing women, saying this is the avenging of the middle schooler. He wrote whole poetry about killing and raping women. And then this kept going on and on. He kept doing things to people. And talking about, and they were talking about, like, you see, he did something as a child. He was doing that till his adulthood. Matter of fact, he became a teacher, an 8th grade teacher. Do you know, he was fired because he was touching on these 8th graders. And I remember when I was working with this other company, I keep hearing somebody, it's like, oh, they're bringing up being teacher. I'm like, I never want to be a teacher. Listen, I respect teacher. It's a hard job. It's a super hard job. But I don't think they get paid enough. I could not do that. It sounds super hard and don't get paid well enough. But I respect teacher. But I'll never imagine my life ever being a teacher. Ever.